Good morning to you. I'm Jeff Slakey. Got a great guest in studio. Good catch up here with Jeanne Rehwaldt. We're talking about Mason Matters and movingmasonforward.org. Good morning.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm good.
Nice to see you. It's been a little while to catch up. I was on the internet there, and all of a sudden I see this documentary about the opioid epidemic here in the Shelton-Mason County area, and sure enough, you were one of the interviewees there, and a good eye-opening documentary there. People can find it all over social media.
Yes, almost 2,000 views as of last night. I checked it. I had 5 interns from the Evergreen State College come to work with Mason Matters, and then they decided out of the 7 priorities that they wanted to focus on the opioid pandemic, now people are calling it.
Oh, okay.
So I made some connections with them, with people in the community, and they did a very professional job. And out of hours and hours of interviews, we got a 20-minute documentary.
Yeah, it looked really nice. Mason Matters and Moving Mason Forward now again at movingmasonforward.org. Tell us a little bit about what else has been going on with this, and let's give some background for folks who may not be aware of this program.
Well, a lot of people don't know what Mason Matters is, which in a way is good because the focus changed a little over a year ago. When I took the position that Kim Clint had of executive director. We've always had a mission of creating a culture of health in the community, but now it is our task to coordinate the community health improvement plan and the 7 priority areas.
Okay.
So it's kind of a big job. Mason Matters is me and a board, and then all of my partnerships.
Oh, wow.
And there are a lot. I just typed up a 5-page report of connections I've made in the last year. So I have not let moss grow under my feet.
I've been very busy.
Yes. So one of the areas is behavioral health. Of course, that's a priority, and that's number 2 out of the 7, but they're not in any order of priority. Sure. And I'm on the board for the advisory board for Thurston Mason Behavioral Health Organization.
Yeah.
A lot of people will know what that is when they think about the PUD3 building on Coda. Mm-hmm. And I know that they're interviewing architects today to be working on making that building into what they need it for the involuntary detention area for treatment.
We've been talking off and on over the last year or so with Thurston County Commissioner Bud Blake on just on the Thurston County side of this, but with starting some input there with Mason County. So that's a good program, it seems like.
Gosh, they have a big budget, and there's some things going on in the legislature that may enable them to stay more of an organization and to keep more of the funding that's coming in. Originally, it was set up for 2020. They would change and behavioral health, all of the treatment services that they give to Medicaid patients would be taken over by our healthcare authority.
Oh, okay.
So I think now the thought is to give local communities a little more input into who the provider will be and how that's going to work in their area.
Sure.
So that's, I think, that House Bill 1388 or something like that. So.
What are some of the other tenets that you're looking at? You mentioned 7, and that was the second of any in a non-specific order. But what are some other things that Mason Matters and Moving Mason Forward does, and how people can help if they find something they want to latch onto?
Well, I have one of the interns of the 5 has stayed with me for this next quarter from Evergreen. He'll be providing rich content to our website.
Okay.
So there is going to be a page for volunteering, and I'm working with Carrie Lemon of United Way, and we are looking at trying to implement a Youth United program here.
Oh, okay.
And I just had this conversation last week, but it sounds like it's something for kids from 6th to 12th grade that can go out and do some community service, earn a letter, and just get out there and learn some real-world experience.
Oh, wow. That's a great little program. Mm-hmm. Huh.
They have it in Wenatchee, and I guess it's one of the premier programs.
Yeah, I'd never heard of that before.
Neither had I.
Might as well get the kids out there and then learn a little bit about the community, help out the community.
Yes.
Foster a sense of pride in community. That's probably a big thing, too, when we talk about how we interact with folks and to get the health and things like that. If you have a good, stable base behind you, it's really helpful.
And if you think of health, it's not just going to the doctor.
No.
And it's not just your blood pressure. It's 7 priorities, it's healthy living, so access to local food and gardening and breastfeeding, then behavioral health, mental health, substance abuse, and how to keep people out of the jail and the court system and get them into treatment rather than going in and out of that revolving door, hopefully reduce the numbers in the jail. It's access to those healthcare services. It's empowering families. So there's a lot of groups out there right now doing programming to help families, to give them support. And what Mason Matters' role is to coordinate those efforts to align all of the goals so that the impacts are bigger with less amount of duplication. So it's been a year that I have been there, and things are happening. Housing is another huge determinant of health, and if people get out of treatment and don't have a place to live, then they're going to fall back into the system. And so our Housing Coalition is doing great work with that, and Todd Parker you may have spoken to. Healthy Environment, the Volunteer Stewardship Program, VSP, that's coming up with a plan for people to voluntarily, egg producers, use some best practices to protect critical areas. And then a big one is educated and prepared workforce. So jobs, the learning academies that are going to be coming into the high school, and anything that, graduation matters, all of that fits there. So it's a big job.
It is a big job. Seems like there has been a more focused push to get folks the treatment. It may seem like the late 70s through the 80s and maybe the early parts of the 90s, it was more of just let's lock people up.
I think people didn't understand that it's not really a moral failing or a conscious choice, but it's a change in your brain.
Yeah.
And that's a huge leap. I was lucky enough to hear our Surgeon General when he was still in office 2 weeks ago in Seattle at the National Conference of Behavioral Health Professionals.
Wow.
And there were almost 6,000 people attended the conference. And he spoke as a keynote speaker, and he's got a report that came out end of November or in December just about addiction and how your mind thinks you're going to die. It's like not having food. So we need to change the way we look at it and relax the laws so people can get treatment.
How has that, because that's a pretty, like you said, that's a leap of faith to kind of put trust in somebody and say, hey, it's something genetic. It's my brain. Trust me, it's this. How do you know where that switch overcame and people are putting more faith in accepting that as the truth?
Well, I think unfortunately it's because of personal experience with family members and with friends and people they know in the community. Maybe someone's son died because of a mental health issue or an overdose, and then the stigma kind of goes away and people start talking about what happened, and then the science comes in to show the research behind it.
Wow. It's very similar, I'd imagine, to the cancer epidemic. It's hard-pressed now for anyone not to know someone directly impacted by cancer, and it seems like this is also the case, too. For so long, you're right, it was kind of shunned, not talked about. Families did not even talk about it. They would keep the people away from the public and things like that. Now getting out there more. What can folks do to help you to connect some maybe different organizations together, maybe find some folks that are interested in helping, giving back to the community here through movingmasonforward.org?
Well, you can sign up or subscribe to a list that we are keeping on that website. I guess I should clarify, Moving Mason Forward is the name of the campaign for the Community Health Improvement Plan. So we don't really own it, although we are the marketer and promoter for it.
Okay.
And Mason Matters is the organization, and you hear Black Lives Matter, and you hear all the time different things matter. Well, Mason Matter's been around since 1999.
Oh, wow.
And a large staff, an executive director, and sometimes interns or AmeriCorps. But it's because of the leveraging the community. People will call me, they'll email me. I had a lady yesterday from Seattle that's moving to Shelton because she has seen that Shelton is progressive and moving forward with a lot of things with behavioral health. Her son died in December.
Oh, wow.
And she is getting her master's degree in psychiatric nursing, and she wants to come and be a member of our community. And so I connected her with who she needs to talk to about getting a job.
That's great. And you can also get online and find them on social media and at movingmasonforward.org. And this Sailing the Seven Seas to Wellness, is that a newsletter that you put out there that you can find, or is that just to give more information on the things in the community?
It kind of goes to the new logo. So instead of flying people, we have a sailboat. A lot of water in Mason County. It's a way you can go somewhere on your own in your boat, or you can combine as a flotilla and, go in a group. So you can email me at movingmasonforward@gmail.com or sign up on the website. And I think a newsletter probably will be coming over the next year.
Jeanne Rehwaldt from Mason Matters, the executive director. Always nice checking in and catching up with you. Been a little while, so let's not make it too far until you come back again and talk about things. And we'll get the interview up here on the website shortly, and all the links that people need to get to learn a little bit more about this.
Thank you, Jeff.
Good to see you.
Yeah, you too.